Now because we moved on to the next section, when you do a file open, it'll take you to the Fundamentals 2 project. So just go back up to User Data, choose Fundamentals 3 and say Set Current. And if you don't have your own version of the mesh car, then I've provided one for you here called Car Underlay. So to build my roof surface, I'm just going to start with a very simple surface plane. And I'll work in the top view, and I'll use grid snapping to place it on the center line. Then I can scale it and non-proportional scale it to get it roughly to size in this top view. But if I take a look back in perspective, it's down on the ground. So I can then just move that up so it's in the right position for the roof. So I want to give this flat plane some shape. So I'll display the CVs and just shade it. And then I'll decide how many CV points I want. So for example, in this direction, which will be U, I might want to have 3 instead of 4. And I can do that over here in the control panel where it says degree 3, I can reduce that down to degree 2 and just hit accept. Now I could continue to work using the view cube, but I'm just going to use the 4-window layout because I think that's easier for you to see what I'm doing. So now I can work step by step. So here in the left view I can use a drag select to select the whole row of CVs and move them to curve the roof. And over here in the back window I'll be careful to drag select both the outside rows of CVs and use non-proportional scale to modify their shape to keep it symmetrical. And then up here in the top view I could continue to use drag select to pick the CVs, but alternatively I could use pick hull, which I've also got on the marking menu. And that lets me pick a whole row just by picking on the red line. So I can continue to shape the surface in this top view. And I'll do just pick nothing and pick these 2 center hulls and then stretch those horizontally just to get the curvature at the ends. So I've just very quickly got to roughly the right shape. You can spend a little bit more time perfecting it. Now I'm just going to have a look at this rear end and try and get it the right length. And I'm going to use a tool on the Object Edit palette called Extend. This is really useful because it allows you to just grow or shrink the end of a surface. And it redistributes the CVs smoothly. So I probably need to build this rear surface to really know where that roof should end. And for this I can also use Extend again. Because if I double click to get the option box open and take the merge option off, then the Extend creates a separate surface for me, just grown from the original one. Now if I want to make life easy for myself, I can reduce the number of CVs in this U direction, and I'm just going to put it down to 1. So that it behaves like a straight line surface. And this means I can work really quickly to just get it roughly into the right position and the right size. I can flatten off this bottom section by picking these outer CVs and using my snapping. So I'll do a point snap and a vertical mouse movement to just bring those CVs up in line with the outer ones. And then just move them across. If I go to the back view, then this bottom hull needs to be wider, so I can just pick that and do a non-proportional scale sideways. So I'm just quickly and roughly getting the surface into shape. But now if I want to give it some curvature, I can increase that number of CVs again. And now just pick these center ones and bring them out to introduce the curve into the surface. And only now I can really sort out this intersection. So if I do a drag select, I pick the CVs on both the surfaces and I can move them together. And then I can find where that sharp intersection should be. And we typically call this a theoretical intersection of the 2 surfaces. So it is possible to build this whole strip of centerline surfaces in the same way. And it's good practice to have a go. So here are your tasks for this tutorial. And you may also want to have a look at the first few golden rules on the website, as we've touched on some of the concepts whilst building these surfaces. And we'll look at them in more detail in the next tutorial.